Hey everybody, we're back with another chapter of Bachi's Chronicles. I've just talked about a few stories. I'm still taking care of the baseball players. I'm still kind of involved in the clubs for what, just in the background doing some things. Uh, okay, here's now. Of course, I've been dealing with athletes, and I've been dealing with these teams and these players and stuff. And I'm slowly getting more involved with more entertainment, like musical industry, the entertainment, and I'm meeting people here and there. So I've dealt with Sony Music once or twice. I dealt with Warner Music, Universal Music, and stuff for just different projects. Sometimes they release an artist releases an album, they give it to me, I give it to the players. The players, might use their music to come out too, so it's good promotion. I just leave CDs around the locker room for the guys. But so I get a call, and I won't say names because, of course, confidentiality. So I get a phone call from one of the labels, and they're like, "Hey, Bachi, are you busy today?" And I'm like, not really. The player's on the road. I'm not with him. So what's up?" They're like, "We have a extremely VIP coming into town. Extreme VIP, extremely high priority VIP coming into town. We weren't expected. We didn't know it was coming, and his dad just called us and told he was on the way. So can you help out? Could you just take him shopping or whatever?" So I'm like, "Yeah, sure, I guess. That's it." They're like, "Yeah, he'll be at this hotel. The plane has just landed. They're on their way." So I go to the hotel. I wait down in the lobby. I guess the label, they weren't expecting, so they were already busy. Their people were already busy, so they just asked me to fill in. So um, I get to the hotel. I'm waiting in the lobby, and he he calls me and he's like, "Okay, they're coming down now. They'll be in the lobby. What are you wearing?" Kind of thing. So I'm wearing a blue jacket, white hat, or whatever. So I come down, and then there's this kid. He's about 16 years old, 17 years old, and he's with his mom, and his mom is beautiful, like one of those drop dead gorgeous, like whoa. And so I come up and I was like, "Hello," and they were like, "Oh, are you Bachi?" I was like, "Yeah." And the mom was like, "Look, he just wants to do some shoe shopping and stuff like that. So could you please just take him shopping?" Basically, they already have the car set up. There's already everything set up. I didn't have to do anything other than just help him and translate and just be there for him. She didn't want to go. She had her own plans. I think she's just going to chill at the hotel. She was like, "I'll meet up with you guys later." So I'm like, "Yeah, sure, sure." So take this kid to like the Harajuku, which is like the fashion area. That's where you see it on TV shows. It's like different gothic people, and then just a lot of different Hello Kitty clothes and stuff. A lot of shoe stores, and in Japan, knockoffs are not common. You don't find too many knockoff shops. If they're Nikes, they're Nikes. If they're Adidas, they're the real thing because you're paying the real prices for them. So he goes into these shoe stores, and he's just like, "I like them, I like them, I like them." He just starts taking all these shoes, and I'm like, "Well, what size?" He was like, "Well, do they have size 8, 9, 10, whatever?" They're like, "No, we only." He's like, "I'll take it anyway." And the first store we went into, he bought like, I don't know, probably 14, 15 pairs of shoes, and these are like $200, $300 a pair. And he gives them a black card. Now, at the time, I had never seen a black card. I don't even think the shop people had seen a black card. They were just came out. They were like the new thing. And the staff asked me, "Is this a real card?" And I was like, I don't know. Swipe it. If it works, it works. I don't know." So they swipe it, and it works. So we go to the next shoe store. He buys another 10, 15 pair. And this kid, I can't even imagine how much money he spent on shoes. $50,000, $60,000 maybe. I mean, they're let's say $250 to $300 a pair, and he's buying 10 pairs a shop. And the car is full of shoes and boxes of shoes in different sizes. Like, he didn't even care the size. And, I'm just like, how does a 16, 17-year-old kid get a black card? It's not my business. I don't care. I'm just like, hey. So we go out. We have a good time. We're talking to him. We're just playing around, And I don't care who he is. I don't know who he is. I just was asked to take care of him. So we get back to the hotel, and his mom's there, and we bring in all these shoes, they're in the suite, the penthouse, bringing all these shoes and all these shoes. And, he's like, "Hey, do they have clubs in Japan, like nightclubs?" I was like, "Well, yeah, they have them." He's like, "Could I go?" And I was like, "Well, you have to be 20 to get into a club, but, it depends on the place. If you're not drinking, if you come in before a certain time, some people are lenient, if it's not past like 10, 11 o'clock or something. There's some law. There was some law or rule or something." So he was like, "Mom, can I go check out a club?" and it was like a Tuesday. I think it was a Tuesday, so it's nothing really open, even clubs. And mom was like, well, if Bachi thinks it's okay and he's with you, then yeah. And I was like, yeah, I can. I'll be free tonight. I'll call my friend as a driver. Chris, you've met him in one of the other videos. I'll call Chris, and he can drive for us or pick me up later or whatever. So they're like, yeah, that'd be great. And so I'm calling clubs. I'm calling like the club owners I know, and I was like, hey, you got anything? They're like, it's Tuesday, we're closed, we don't have anything going on. And one club had just by luck like a college event, like a college kids party with a dance competition, hip hop, where they have the school dancers, and it's only open till 12 because after that the kids couldn't get in or whatever, so they open up for a certain amount of time. Well, just by luck, and they're like, it's actually rented out by these college kids for this party. But of course, we have it was the first two floors are dancing and stuff, and then the third floor is like a VIP lounge. They're like, if the kid wants to come, he can come and hang out in the VIP lounge, and I'm sure they won't mind if he watches some of the shows and stuff. I know the people who asked to set it up, so yeah, sure, bring him along. So I'm like, okay, so I tell the mom. I was like, hey, there is one place they're doing a college like hip hop event where the dancers, guys and girls do these little hip hop dance competitions. It's just for fun. There's no alcohol. It's only juice. And she was like, yeah, that's fine. If you think it's safe and there's no problem, go be back by midnight kind of thing. I'm like, yep, no problem. Because in Japan, I've said this before, clubs do not start until 12. That's when they get busy. Is 12 to 1, the last train, and they stay packed until about 5 in the morning. So anything before 12 is very light, low level. I mean, you'll be the only person in the club until 11 o'clock if you go before 11. So I call. I'm gonna have to maybe delete that out of there. So anyway, by mistake I just said the label's name, so I'm gonna have to go back and cut that out because I don't want anybody to get in trouble for this. So I called the label, no names, and I tell them, hey, everything went great. It was a good time. He's like, yeah, thank you. Yeah, the mom called, said everything went well, and I was like, yeah, he wants to go to a club tonight, so I'm going to take him to this club that they're having a college. And he was like, what? He wants to go to a club? Are you serious? And on the phone, he's starting to panic. I'm like, yeah, but it's just a college thing. It's not like a real club event. There's no alcohol. It's just the kids dancing and stuff. And he was like, yeah, okay, but all right. Well, if you're going at night, I need to go. I need to be there. I'm like, yeah, okay. Well, we'll pick you up. So get to the hotel. The guy's there from the label. He's there with us, and he's kind of all nervous and stuff. So he's just freaking out. Like he's just well, so what is like? What are we gonna do? And I'm like, look, we're just gonna go in the elevator, go up to the third floor. We're gonna be in the lounge. You can see over the edge and see the whole dance floor, and you can see where people are dancing. And you're just gonna watch the shows and see the hip hop and see what it's like. The music, because a lot of people think the clubs here are playing Japanese music. No, they play more international. Hip hop and reggae, stuff like that. It's all, they don't use many Japanese. I've never really even heard Japanese songs played in the club here. So, I'm like, why are you stressing out? And he was like, because his dad is blah, 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 blah. And I was like, are you serious? Because, like, I don't know much about music, but I knew who his dad was. And I'm like, are you serious? And his dad is a hip hop mogul, is all I can say. And I was like, well, now that makes a little more sense. That explains the black card, explains the excessive shopping, explains the beautiful mother. And I was like, okay. So we get to the club, and and I've never asked all day. I didn't ask one time. So we're talking and stuff, and we're just going at it. And he sees the dancers, and there's college kids like 18, and I think he's 17. I think it was some 18-year-old, they were pretty girls dancing, and some were in the VIP lounge, and he was like, oh, those were the dancers, those were the Midnight Star dancers, they were good, can I talk to them? You think they would talk to me? And I was like, yeah, sure, I don't know if they speak English, but, we'll try. So I called the girls over, we're sitting in a little corner, and I was like, oh, this is so-and-so, and this is, so-and-so, and the girls are like, oh, yeah, and they didn't speak much English, so it was a little awkward, but he really wanted to talk to them, and he wanted to ask them what kind of music they listened to, and, where did they learn to dance like that, and how did they get involved in it. And, I mean, he's interested in the culture because, he's the son of a legend. So I'm doing the translating, me and the label guy are both doing the translating, talking to him and stuff, and you could tell they were kind of getting bored with the whole conversation. and one of them would go and come back, and and he was like, Bachi, you know who my dad is, right? And I was like, well, actually, I didn't know until about an hour ago when I asked. He was like, really? I was like, yeah, I had no clue. I didn't even ask until he was flipping out about you wanting to come here. And he was like, oh yeah, I guess, yeah, you got to make sure. I guess your dad called him and told him to take care of you. And he was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. He's like, if those girls knew who my dad were, do you think they would hang around and just talk a little, me a little more? And I was like, yeah, definitely. I mean, they might be young, that they don't know exactly the music your dad, you know, did, but they will know who your dad is. And so he's like, you can tell him if you want, just, and he's only 17 years old. He wasn't doing anything. He just wanted to ask him these questions, but they were leaving and stuff. And he wanted to. So I was like, oh, by the way, this is so-and-so's son. And, of course, they were like, oh, my God. And they sat down, and we sat there for probably about 30 minutes, and he talked to him, and he asked him these questions, and he was just so interested, and they were showing him, how they dance. Now they're actually wanting to show. They did like a dance routine for him, and he'd get up and he'd do this, and they had a good time. The girls were like maybe 17 or 18, whatever, and he was 17. It was just a perfect look. And me and the label guy just sat back and translated, and 11:30 showed up. We got there about 10:30, and at 11:30 we had to leave, and we didn't allow any pictures to be taken, and we left, and he went home, and the next day they were going home. So they only came for one day to go shoe shopping, I guess. I don't know. So I went to a hotel to see him off, and his mom was like, oh, Bachi, he had a great time last night. He said that, that was one of the best times he ever had. If you ever need anything from us, you have our numbers. If thank you so much. It was great. He said, you were one of the coolest guys he's ever been. Had to take care of him, kind of thing. I was the coolest babysitter, to say. And I was like, yeah, of course, no problem. And they left and never talked to him again. Of course, I didn't call them saying, hey, what's up, Merry Christmas. I left them alone. What am I going to say? Figured if they ever needed me, they knew where I was. And that's the story of me hanging out with a hip-hop legend's son. All right. Talk to you later.